Hey, what's up? Welcome to Malk's Bikes. I'm Malk Hogan. Today we're going to bike check a 2021 Surly Karate Monkey in Fool's Gold, aka Miller High Life Gold.
Surly Karate Monkey, Surly Karate Monkey.
So this here is my 2021 Surly Karate Monkey. I'll give you a bit of backstory on how this thing came to be. In 2006, I had myself a Surly Karate Monkey that I built from the ground up. It took me like 2 years because I bought ridiculous components and I didn't know what I was doing, but I love that bike. And you know, as things do, it grew old and I eventually sold it. So then I wanted to get back into mountain biking come COVID and go riding some single track. And I wanted to get myself a simple specialized fuse. Of course, with inventory during COVID, it was not possible to find one of those. I started calling around to all the shops in the state and in Pennsylvania, trying to find something that was in my size, and nobody had anything, had nothing comparable. So I called up to Dirty River in Akron, and Marge was like, yeah, I got a Surly Karate Monkey frame. And I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm looking for a complete. And I hung up the phone. Within like 5 minutes, I had called him back and decided I'm building another Karate Monkey. So I want to give a shout out to Dirty River Bike Works up in Akron, Ohio. Hooked me up with the frame set, also hooked me up with these rims, which we'll get into. So this bike was built by my buddy John over at Psychotherapy in Springfield, Ohio. If you're within a couple hours, it's definitely worth the trip. Go check them out. Man, they've got everything. Their inventory is terrific. Service is fantastic. He's been in the business forever. I met John back when he was a mechanic at another shop years and years ago. Come to find out he had his own shop, and I've been going there for 3-4 years now. So I kind of don't have any real order here. I'm just going to kind of go through things here. It's an XL frame set. It fits me really good. Like, I don't think I could go with a smaller one. I'm 6'4". I have 34-inch pants length, if that helps anybody out. It's got Eclipse Carbon DB736 rims on it. They're tubeless rims. I had this thing set up tubeless. In fact, the front tire is still set up tubeless. It's got tubeless stems in there. However, when I was riding in Norris Lake on the trails there at the state park, I kept blowing the tire off the rim and I could not figure out what my problem was. So this back tire's got a tube in it. And for all I've been using it for, I haven't ridden it much. I got this bike completed and picked it up on my birthday. And I went that day and rode Rays up in Cleveland. I got a little too cool for school and broke my shoulder on my birthday. So that's pretty cool. But man, this bike just is awesome. I forgot how fun it is to ride. So Eclipse Carbon DB736 32-hole rims. I think they're a Chinese manufacturer, but they're pretty cool. I got them for a pretty good deal. These are the Terraville Coronado 27.5 by 3s. I got the light and supple. They are monsters. This thing is like driving a monster truck, but it's shocking how fast it rolls. It's totally fun. They did okay at Rays, but the reason I crashed is because they slid out. Like, they're not made to ride wood catwalks. It was bound to happen. I crashed coming down a big drop-in on the green line. The front hub came with the wheel set. I left that same hub in there. It's an Eclipse hub from the research that I was doing. I think it's actually a Novatech. I'm never going to notice having a different front hub. The rear hub is an Industry 9 Hydra, super loud. I'll try and spin it here in a minute. I actually had John over at Psychotherapy remove the Eclipse hub that was in there and replaced it with a i9 hub just because I wanted it, and it's silly. I'm running a Fox 34 29-inch suspension fork, 140 millimeters. Somebody on Facebook commented on my initial picture of this bike, was like, this thing needs a dropper post. I was like, yeah, it has one. The picture of it coming out of the shop didn't have the dropper post in it. I went home and put it in there. It's a Fox factory transfer with internal routing. Got the Wolf Tooth remote, light action. Initially, I had ordered an SMP VT30 saddle in red to go on this bike, and as soon as I put it on there, it was not the right saddle. It didn't feel right. It definitely didn't look right. And I took it off and I put on one of these Volts that I had. I had 2 or 3 of these things. I never really cared about them, and as soon as I put this on here, automatically knew that this was the right saddle for this bike. It felt great, and it's the right size. I could probably have maybe a smaller saddle, but it's working good. The stem is a Race Face Atlas 65 millimeter. I initially ordered a Cro-Mag handlebar, and it was in that cash gold. The problem was it wasn't the right diameter for the stem, and it wasn't available in the right diameter, so I ended up getting the Atlas handlebar, which is fine. This here, Amazon special. I've got all kinds of silly stuff like this in anodized colors. Running the Wahoo Roam. I don't really use it or need that on this bike, but I used it one time when I was riding trails in the state park down in North Lake, Tennessee. It came in pretty handy. It helped me find the way back to my truck when I had to walk the thing 5 miles after the tire blew off. For grips, I went with lizard skin PDs, kind of for nostalgic reasons. That's what I initially had put on my first Karate Monkey that I built back in 2006, 2007, and I loved them. They're locking on both sides. The brakes are Shimano XT Dior Hydros. On my first Karate Monkey, I had formulas Hydros, and they were terrific. In fact, they were better than these, but this was what was available, so that's what we went with. The front rotor is a Dior. It's a 203 XT Isec. The rear is a 160. There was an issue when John was putting in these brakes. The instructions were wrong. I can't remember if it was a measurement or a part, but he ended up spending like a day playing phone tag with Shimano, and finally they told him like, yeah, the instructions are not right, and he got it figured out. But shout out to John, man, because he was pulling his hair out trying to figure out why these weren't working, and it was because the actual printed instructions from Shimano were incorrect. If I find out the detail on that, I'll put it in the comments or in the description. Of course, with this color scheme, I had to get myself a Miller High Life decal. This is the Karate Monkey Miller High Life edition. The SRAM X01 rear derailleur. It's a 12-speed. Rear cassette is a SRAM XG 1299 Eagle, 12-speed. It's a 10 to 52 tooth. SRAM X01, 12-speed shifter. The chainring is an absolute black, DM cinch oval, boost gold 32 tooth. I have an absolute black oval chainring on my straggler. I really liked what it did for me pulling trailers up hills, so I thought it would be appropriate. It's a little bit unique. A lot of people are getting these nowadays. Race Face Atlas pedals in cash gold. The Race Face Atlas cinch crank arm set's 175 milli. I run 175 on most things. I probably could have gone with the 170. I'm not sure what sizes were available at the time. It's been over a year. Chris King bottom bracket. I don't ride enough for it to matter, but I know it's cool. Wolf tooth headset. The front tire, I'm running the Synchros trail fender. It was the only option I could find to fit this bike. The chain is a KMC X12. That's a tie gold chain. I can't remember who makes these cages. I'll talk about these bike stands here. I've got 3 of these things. They're called MTB hoppers, I think. They're adjustable. You can set them up for whatever your tire size. I can fit 23C. I can fit 3-inch, 4-inch tires. I got 50 mil. I fit all of my bikes in these things, and they're awesome in the garage. Helps stand bikes up and store bikes without kickstands. They're heavy duty, and the bike definitely doesn't tip over. You can work on your bike like this. You can just store it that way. I think they're fantastic. And I rode over here with that thing. It's not heavy at all. I did everything on my previous Karate Monkey. I'll show you a picture of that right here-ish. I love that bike, but I used to ride it urban. It was a street bike. I had it set up single speed. I had a Dos Eno drivetrain on it. It was great for in the city, riding traffic and riding downtown. I rode Denver cruiser rides, Boulder cruiser rides, Thursday night Govs Park. It was killer, man. Again, big shout out to John over at Psychotherapy in Springfield, Ohio. Go check that place out. He really helped me out when I had some questions about fitting and sizes and stuff like that. I wouldn't have gotten this bike together if it wasn't for him, so. Thanks for watching. If you guys have a Karate Monkey and I could have done something better, If you got questions about anything that I did, put it down in the comments below. If you want to subscribe, we got something real special coming for you real soon. I'm Mark Hogan. See you next time.